welcome to the
Hello.
progress check-in update. Hi, that's Jocelyn. She's a guest for today. Uh, Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi.
Hi. So today we're talking about productivity, and she will be guiding us, and she'll be giving us some really actionable tips that we can start using immediately. So the idea is that after you've watched this, you take what you've learned and start working. No more procrastination, no more later I don't feel like it and all of that. You like get right into it. So we're gonna play our 5 seconds intro, and then Justin will take us through who she is and just jump right into her tips. All right?
Sounds good.
Ta-da! Okay, you're back. Hi. So,
Hi.
who are you?
Thank you so much. Good. I'm good. It's supposed to be really nice today. So after this, I'm going outside, I think. That's my plan, because it's morning by me versus night by you.
Yeah. I'm just like, after this, gonna stretch, exercise a bit, then go sleep.
Yes, sleep. I know. Yeah, see, and I just got off the sleeping part. Sleep shower, took
I'm
my
looking
dog
forward
out,
to
and
my
now I'm here.
sleeping part. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, like,
Yeah.
Jocelyn, who is she? Who are you? Tell us about yourself.
Yes. So my name is Jocelyn Kopac. I am a business strategist, serial entrepreneur, and DEI educator. DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so that's what I do on a daily basis, is talk about those things. Anything business, anything DEI, I'm your girl. And so when it comes to serial entrepreneur part, I own 4 different businesses. My main ones being I have a marketing agency. And then I also have a membership program that teaches you how to prep yourself, your business, and then hire a team to help support you in the growth of your business. So those are my babies. That's what I do on a daily basis.
Oh,
So yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yes. So when it comes to productivity, it's kind of like my bread and butter, because when you run multiple businesses, you have to actually be productive with the time that you're
yes.
actually working with. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, congrats on the agency and the membership. That's a lot. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is it is
Jocelyn.
a lot, but at the same time I have an amazing team that also helps me. So it evens out in the end.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
not like it's not a one person
Show.
backup.
Mhm.
There's
Yep.
people around you contributing and working with you.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your productivity tips. How can we be as productive as you?
Yeah. So what I usually recommend when somebody's coming to me and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed," or "I just can't," or "I feel anxious," or "I'm not getting everything I thought I needed to get done," what I end up telling them is to start keeping, just like if you're going on a diet and people tell you to keep a food journal, to start keeping a task journal. So literally, as you are going through your day, kind of mentally check it off, or you can keep a notebook with you. But I recommend sitting down for 5 or 10 minutes and writing down everything that you did with your day, whether that's you washed your face, and you maybe you cleaned the bathroom, to doing the dishes, but then everything you actually did in your business as well. Answered emails, answered client requests, did some fulfillment work. What was the fulfillment work? Did some sales, how many sales calls did you do? Writing it all down. And literally, I just recommend going to like Target or wherever and getting like that $1 notebook and using it, and doing that for 14 days straight. Just taking that 5 or 10 minutes before you go to sleep and just writing down everything you did. After you've written everything down, go through. I use a numerical system. Some people I know use like a little smiley face system. Some people put stars next to things that they love doing or they know they did a really good job on. And then at the end of 14 days, you can compile a list of things that you're not good at or you hate doing. One of the two, right? You can compile a complete list. And that's where you can start going, okay, these things should not be in my day-to-day, because I'm not good at them, or I procrastinate on them, or I know for a fact somebody else could do them better. whatever the reason is. And that's where you can start planning out going forward how you're going to hand things off to a team member to help with productivity, right? Because we can't do everything. I
You're
wish I
human.
could, right? Like honestly, I wish I could. But if you're trying to build a scalable business, a business that brings in generational wealth, then you can step away from, you can take a vacation from, and it still is there when you come back.
Yes.
You can't do it all by yourself, right? But you also have to realize that you have to be doing the things that, one, you're good at, and two, you enjoy doing, because that will make sure that you're a little bit more productive with your time. Because if you
Yeah.
don't know how to do something, it takes 3 times longer than somebody that does know how to do
Yes.
it, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and so you maybe got that task done, but you weren't really actually productive. You were just
Yeah,
busy,
just
right?
done with you right now. Woo.
Yep, you were just busy because you were trying so hard to get it done, versus you could have said, hey, it's more productive for me to say, I'm going to hand this to you, expert, whatever that is, and or I'm going to hand this to you and you've got to figure it out, and that's now your task to do. And that would be a way more productive use of your time, is then managing that person and making sure that task is done. Because we can't do it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have
Well,
2 questions on that.
yeah, go.
Okay, so like now the first question is this: if I document like literally everything for like 14 days, like I woke up at this time, I brushed my teeth, I took a bath, I walked around, I did blah blah blah. Like, isn't that a lot to document, even for one day, much less 2 weeks? Isn't that a lot to
You're
document?
going to find it's really not, though. It's really not, because we, especially as women, like to fill our days and feel busy. And you're going to find that you spent 2 or 3 hours on something that really you probably didn't need to, as you're going through your documentation process. And then you're also going to find that, hey, some days I completely skip stuff that I need to do. Like, I saw this on Facebook not too long ago. Self-care is not personal hygiene, right? Like, your personal hygiene doesn't count as your self-care.
Okay,
And
that
so
makes
if you see that you're doing, the normal stuff, like I got ready for the morning. Okay, cool. You got ready for the morning. That means you took a shower and you brushed your teeth and you did
yeah,
your hair,
that's normal.
right? Put some makeup on, got dressed, put lotion on, whatever, right? That you don't have to write out every single step. You can just say, I got ready in the morning, right? And that, you don't have to, I mean, if you want to write out every step of getting ready, you can, but I would assume what getting ready in the morning means to you. But if you wash dishes, or if you vacuumed, things like that, I would almost say like clean the house, and then like in parentheses I would be like wash dishes, or did dishes, whatever, watered plants, vacuumed house, right? So you can kind of know what you actually accomplished. And then you can look back at your day, because honestly, you really shouldn't have more than a page worth of stuff that you can accomplish in a day. If you are having a page worth more things that you did, you need to take a serious step back and look at where you can start handing that stuff off, right? Because at that point you are way, way, way overdoing it. And you're going to start getting way overwhelmed, way anxious, way like just too much.
It's just like a chore.
So that's where you just start handing stuff off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so now my second question is this. So you had mentioned how when after 14 days, you look at the tasks that you were good at, the ones you're not so good at, the ones that you hate doing, and all of that. So let's say you're a female entrepreneur and this is your only business. So, and you're just maybe you're just starting out and it's just you, or maybe you and a friend, but mostly you. So for that, the stuff you're not good at, what do I do with that?
Yeah, you prioritize it, right? Like, I could say I'm horrible at laundry and dishes, because honestly, if you looked at my couch right now, it looks like a laundry basket threw up on it, because I did my laundry and I didn't fold it and put it away, right? Right? So I can say I'm not good at laundry, but right now when it comes to productivity, and I weigh everything on a time money continuum, right? So what I mean is sometimes you have more time to get things done and sometimes you have more money to get things done. It really depends on where you are, right? Yeah. I don't have the money right now to say, hey, I need someone to come wash, fold, and put away my clothes. right? And so it has
Yeah.
to be on the
You
bottom
mean?
of my list of things that I want to hand off, right? I don't have the money nor the willpower to hire someone to come in and do my dishes every couple days, right? Like that's not something I need. Or somebody to
Yeah.
come in and clean my bathroom, right? Still, I'm still at the phase of my business where I can spend an hour doing those things and it's not detrimental to what I'm trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
And so those are at the very bottom of my list now. Eventually, do I want to be able to hire a housekeeper that can come in every couple
Yeah.
days and do all that stuff for me?
Yeah.
Totally, 100%. And
Yeah.
that's why it's on my
Don't we
list of
all?
things I want to hand off. But it's not where I'm at right now, right? But there are things that you can hand off. So let's say that, like, you know what, you were really, 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 really bad at your email. Like, speaking from experience, I'm bad at my email. I think I have I've got 46 emails that I've got to respond to this morning. Like, I didn't respond all week. So hence and therefore they have to get done today, right? And I know I'm bad at my email. So what I actually did is I hired an executive assistant, and now she started out part-time. She's full-time now, so keep that in mind. But when she started out part-time, one of her first main jobs was, you need to filter through my email every single morning and let me know if there's something dire I got to get on. Like, I have to stop what I'm doing and go respond to that email,
Yeah.
right? It was only an hour a day, right? Like, what she was doing didn't take long. It's just, I'm not productive when I have to filter through my emails. I'll do that once a week,
Yeah.
right? But I want to be sure that I'm not ignoring a client or something like that because it's something important, but I'm not in my email, right? And so 1 hour a day really is only like, I mean, if you're, depending on where you're hiring, is anywhere between $5 and $15 an hour. I mean, really, for that kind of task, like, you really shouldn't have to pay more than that, right? And so, and it depends on where you hire from. But that to me, $5 to make sure I don't make, not saying I paid $5, but like if
when you weigh
$5
them, it just makes more sense. Yeah,
it makes sense, right? And could that actually help you grow your business? If you don't have to spend an hour in your email every morning filtering through, you can spend that hour, or maybe 45 minutes, because you still have to answer some emails, 45 minutes going and selling or going and fulfilling or whatever that would be, right? And so that's where you start figuring out, and that's where you list them out and kind of give them a ranking, right? Of like, these are things that I know I want to hand off, but I'm just being bougie by that. I don't actually need to wash my dishes for me. I can do that. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, right. And then there's things that like have to get done. I know I'm bad at checking my email. Horrible. So it has to be at the top of my list because I'll lose clients if I don't respond to emails. Right. So that's kind of how you sit down and you rank it. And then you kind of assign a monetary value, right? An hour to me means I probably could make a sale or two, right? Which means it's worth anywhere between $50 and $1,000, right? So for me, I'm going to pay you $15 to go through my email, once or twice a day, right? Take an hour, go through my email, let me know which emails I need to respond to that are like dire, and have to get, boom, that makes complete sense, right?
Yes.
If you can turn 15 into 50 or 15 into 1,000, hell yes, right? And that's where, as you step into like your feminine power as a CEO or business, leader of your business, you start to realize that you do need help in order to be as productive as humanly possible with the stuff that you are good at and with the stuff that you aren't good at. And so that's kind of why I have people list out everything. Because, like, for example, if you list out brushing your teeth, you're never gonna be able to have somebody else do that. Like what you gonna do? Stand there while somebody else brushes your teeth? Like, what? Now, if you list out like your morning routine is taking too long and you need to start figuring it out, right? Like, if your morning routine takes you 2.5 hours, well, guess what? You need to start handing some stuff off, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's people, I don't know. I take like a whole 3 minutes to put my makeup on, but there's people,
That's
I'm
a
telling
whole
you.
waste of time you could spend doing other things.
Right. But I mean, if you don't ever stop and think about, oh my goodness, yeah, I am spending that long from the time that I get out of bed to the time that I'm like ready to leave the house or ready to do meetings. That's ridiculous. I need to take a step back. Or maybe that's exactly what you need, because that time is your self-care. That's like getting you prepped,
Oh,
that's
I
setting
guess
you
that's
mentally.
one good idea.
Okay, that's great. But then there's things that need to be happening in that 2 hours that you can't be doing because you are doing something else. And so hence and therefore, if you want your business to be efficient, you need to start putting things into that time where somebody else is doing them. Right. And really, I mean, it comes down to, how much does if that's what you're doing, how much does your self-care mean to you? Because that 2 hours, right? Because I mean that's fine. Take those 2 hours, right? But then you have to realize that there's things that need to be happening when you can't do
Yeah.
them, right?
Yeah,
So
you have to weigh it.
mhm,
It's 2 hours,
exactly.
okay. But then what could I
Mhm,
possibly do with these 2 hours? Something else. And then when I look at this too,
mhm.
do I really need to spend
Right,
that
and
two
maybe,
hours, or can I cut that down?
yeah, and maybe those you hire somebody for those 2 hours to go through your email, post to your Instagram, right? All the things that have to get done on a daily basis, for your business, whatever that is. Maybe it's not posting on Instagram, but you know what I mean. um okay, that's fine. Then you can come to work with quotes around it, right? You can come into your business, and all of that stuff is already done, so you can just go directly to the things that you have to do, right?
Yeah,
Versus like having to do all this extra work that's going to take another 2 hours, and at that point you're 4 hours into your day, and you only work maybe an 8-hour day, right? And so
yeah,
you only have 4 hours then to get stuff done for clients or whatever your main tasks are,
yeah.
which then creates the whole issue of not being very productive, because you feel like you've got a lot of stuff done, but you really were just busy. You weren't actually productive on
Right.
moving things
Yeah.
forward. Hmm.
So apart from making this lists and ticking or putting the emojis or the numbers on what you're good at, what you're not, how else can I be more productive? How else can we be more productive?
Yeah, I mean, really, it comes down to what you place as important in your life and business, right? I heard this analogy, I don't know how long ago it was now, but you have to realize you are juggling, like literally physically juggling, like a juggler, everything in your life. And some of the things that you're juggling are glass and some of them are plastic. And so if you drop a glass ball, it shatters, and what you gonna do?
That's
Try to glue it back
it.
together? Like, it's done. Like,
It's done.
it's done. It is what it is, right? But if you drop a plastic ball, it kind of bounces and you can kind of pick it back up. It may get a dent in it, but it'll be all right? And so when it comes to productivity, you got to weigh everything against, is this something that I absolutely have to be doing in order for things to keep running, right? So for example, if you have kids, you have to make them a lunch before they go to school, right? Or maybe you could pay the school, what, I don't even know how much it is, $5 a day or whatever, for them to get lunch at school, and you save those 30 minutes, right? Maybe it's vacuuming your carpet every day, right? Could you vacuum it every other day, or could you ask one of your kids to do it, or your spouse, or that kind of stuff, right? Is it a plastic ball or is it a glass ball, right?
Yeah.
Going to your kid's recital is a glass ball. You cannot
So
miss
you're
that,
going to your
right?
recital, you're not missing that.
Yeah, if you don't, you're gonna create some issues at home, and it's something that you can never go back to, right?
Yeah.
Answering your email every day, I mean, although it can be a glass ball if you get a lot of urgent client stuff in there, it could be a plastic ball too. Like, they can wait 24 hours for a response. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right? So
Call me if it's urgent.
um yeah, so that's what it comes down to with tasks. But usually, if you stop and look at what you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis, you're going to find that you're doing a lot of busy work, stuff that you don't actually have to be doing in order for your life and your business to keep running. Um, right? Like posting on social media. Well, you're posting on every single social media there is out there, right? But which social media are you actually getting leads from? Okay, then cut all the rest of them out for now and just do that one,
Focus on that
right?
one. Yeah.
And focus on the one, right? But I mean, we are taught that we need to be constantly busy doing things, and that's not necessarily the truth.
No, it's not.
So,
It's not. It's quite
mhm.
a toxic mindset to have, that I have to be
Yeah,
on the go constantly, constantly. When do you
hmm,
like power down?
yeah. When you chill out, you need to chill out too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, just
hmm,
get your heart rate down a bit. It's not to be high
hmm,
all the time.
exactly.
Yeah. So we've
Exactly.
learned a lot from you. So how let's now talk about your business now and how
Yeah.
someone can work with you. So what does Jocelyn do for other business owners, other entrepreneurs? Because you had mentioned the agency and you mentioned the membership. So like what is how
Yeah.
can someone work with you?
If you are listening and you're feeling like, oh my goodness, she's speaking to my soul, like I'm so overwhelmed, I'm constantly anxious about getting things done. I get really excited about making a sale and then I'm like, oh shit. Like, how am I going to fulfill this? Because I've already got 5 clients, like, or whatever, right? You're looking at life like that. First of all, girlfriend, you need me. Second of all, it's okay. We've all been there. But the way you can actually find me is if you go to jocelynjkopac.com/masterclass. I actually have a masterclass on, it's literally called Are You Business Ready? And it talks about where you want your business to go and then how you can kind of plan your life then around that, right? So that you can make sure you're actually going to hit that goal. And then it leads straight into my 12-month program called the Business Readiness Program, which is all about prepping you and then your business for a team member or team members if you want more than one, but where you can start handing off some of those tasks that you're not very productive at because you're either not good at them or you don't like them. You put them to the back burner even though they really probably shouldn't be, right? Whatever that is, and you can start prepping to hand that off to people. Everyone that comes to the program hires their first team member within 90 days, and when I say hires, I don't mean necessarily full-time. Not everybody can afford that, but starts handing them off in a budget-friendly way, right? Like handing things off in a way that they can afford in their business. So then they can take that step forward and do the things that build their business. So for example, in my agency, one of the first things I handed off was lead generation, not sales. I still do all of my sales calls, but lead generation where that takes time, right? And so that's one of the first things I handed off. I was like, I'm not gonna be doing this anymore. I can't keep up. And I handed off lead generation. The next thing I handed off was actually scheduling out content, right? Because we're a marketing agency, we do content, right? So scheduling that out, right? Because I was like, that's a lot of time that somebody else can be doing that, and they probably could do a little bit better job keeping up with it, and I don't have to do that, right? And so, but that came from me doing the self-reflection of everything I'm doing in my days and going, ooh, that's something I don't need to be doing. It's not really making me any money, and I could be spending that time doing something else that's a little bit more productive based off of my skill set and what I like to do. So that's how I went through my business. And honestly, a lot of people that I have on my team aren't even quote unquote full-time. Our full-time is 32 hours a week. We don't work a 40-hour work week. But they're not even full-time. It's based off of how many hours they can work, right? Because they have kids, they have families, whatever. And they maybe can't work a full-time work week, but they can work 2 or 3 hours a day. And that's perfect, right? And so that's what we do inside my team. And that's how I've built it. But it completely depends, right? I've got full-time people on my team too, but it's just, it depends on the day or on the job and on the person. But that's how I ended up building my business. And it gave me the chance to take a step back. Like earlier this year, I went through a really tough divorce. And I was like out of commission, like my brain kind of shut off for about a month. And the only reason I still have an agency is because my team was in place. They were supporting me. They were able to get things done without me for the most part. And so that's what I'm trying to teach other women is that you can step into that feminine power. And then when you do need a break for whatever reason, you have the support network that can help you keep your business rolling.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Ooh, well, I don't know if I say congrats on your divorce or like power to you for the divorce.
Oh yeah, it's a total congrats situation.
Okay, congrats on the divorce.
Right. I definitely learned over this summer that you don't know what's holding you back until it's no longer holding you back.
Oh my God. Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's a congrats situation.
Right. That's something.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if you want to know more about her divorce or to work with her, just go to Jesse. Just go to her website.
I'll tell you about it. It's a great story, guys, man. If you ever want to hear, it sounds like I made it up. It sounds like it's a telenovela. It's not. It's a true story. Happened to me. So, Yeah. Yeah, if you want to know about that. Oh,
We
I
have
got
like
stories.
5 minutes left. Let me get like the recap version of it.
Okay. Recap version. I left 2 days before coronavirus. Like 2 days before we got locked down. So then I couldn't find a place to live.
Nice.
That was a whole
Ow.
thing. Yeah, that was great.
Ouch.
It was great. And then his family came and started harassing me on all my business pages and stuff. And that was a whole thing. Finally got to the divorce part. He didn't want to give me anything. So there was that. And then I had to get a restraining order against him and his family.
Holy freaking shit.
And that's just the highlights. That's just the highlights.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay.
Yes, I know. So if you have ever gone through something like that and you're listening, it's okay. You can come out the other end. It just sucks while you're having to deal with it. Like super sucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A restraining order against him and his family. Okay. Wow. That's something. Although it would have sucked though if you were stuck in the house with him during the lockdown. That would have sucked.
No, I know. I was like, it's like blessing in disguise that everything happened. Like it was like 2 days before the state of Wisconsin lockdown, and I was like, as much as I hated sleeping on people's couches, I was like, you know what? This is better. This is okay. Like after I'd gotten through it and like found a place to live, I was like, as much as that sucked, it was okay.
It's pretty okay. Oh wow! Oh my god!
Yeah.
So if you have a divorce story as dramatic as hers, and you were going to like compare notes, you can visit her website.
Yeah. Seriously, actually, I was doing a podcast interview, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something like that, like for my podcast. And we were talking about it after the interview, and she's like, we need to do just a round table, and we all have to tell our crazy ass divorce stories. And I was like, oh, because we're all entrepreneurs and we all lived through it. Like our businesses are still running. We lived through it, but like we got some stories to tell. And I was like, oh my goodness, so gonna do that.
I know someone who will join your panel. I actually interviewed someone for my podcast who actually divorced her husband, and actually she's a psychoanalyst that also works with divorced women. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she probably fits in there.
Yes, she would. Yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm thinking we're probably gonna do it around January. Like beginning of the year, fresh, like
new year, new me. Like, woo.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right, so we have actually derailed from all of this, but Jocelyn's website it's in the video. It's also in the link. So go to jocelynkopac.com/masterclass to join her masterclass and just jump right into it. And so you can work with her directly from there. Ooh, oh my god.
Okay, I'll stop. I'll just sit real still now.
Yeah. In the link. In the link, there's also a weekly planner. So after you've gone through Jocelyn's method for the 14 days of documenting everything down, and you figured out what you're great at, what you're not so good at, what you can outsource, what you can do, there's a weekly planner in the link below where you can actually plan your week in advance. You can put in your goals for the week. So let's say my goal for this week is, 10 sales call or 25 sales call or whatever it is. You put your goals for the week, and then you put in your task for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there's a free planner in the link below. So I recommend that. I also recommend you try her 14 days method so that you can at least know what you're procrastinating on. You cannot just say I'm procrastinating. You have to be clear, like what exactly is it that I procrastinate
this thing.
Yeah, like don't just like have an idea of it. Like I suck at this. Be very blunt about it and just know what you're good at and what you're not. And that brings us to the end of today's live. Woo!
Nice.
Oh my god. All right. Bye-bye.
See ya.